Hello, welcome to Crypto News. Today is February 27th, 2026, and the top crypto news is as follows. We will start today's episode with the Trump family and US Bitcoin, the Trump family's mining company, which has a loss of $153 million for 2025. However, he has Bitcoins that exceed 6,000 BTC, so I am sure that in the future he will cover this loss with a profit. Moving on, we go to The Block, Mr. Jack Dorsey's company, where we learn that it has lost 4,000 employees, or more than 40% of its workforce as part of major changes. And for this very reason, the Block stock is up 23%, because with a much smaller staff, it can produce the same results, so it will remain more profitable. As you can see, that's why the markets were happy. Moving on to the latest news, before we get to today's main story, we'll go to Mr. Vitalik, who continues to sell Ethereum. We've learned that the Ethereum founder recently sold 17,196 Ethereum, surpassing the 16,384 ETH limit he set in January for personally funding open source projects. In general, the Ethereum that Vitalik is selling, he is mainly selling, as far as we know, to fund Ethereum itself, since the Ethereum Foundation does not have much money, as we have said in previous episodes. From Ethereum, we will go to Jane Street, a company that since yesterday I can say has really stirred up Twitter. In particular, it is a small giant and basically a trading company, and it is also a very large market maker. It seems to have affected our market a lot according to theories, all this for starters. However, let's start with India, where the Regulatory Authority of India has banned this particular company from trading in securities. The main reason is that the regulator alleges that Jane Street was active in both the cash market and the derivatives market through different entities. So at a very basic level, what is being argued is that one entity bought large amounts of bank stocks, driving up the price of the bank Nifty when the market opened in the morning. At the same time, it is claimed that the second entity would be betting on the fall in the value of Bank Nifty in the derivatives market. On expiration day, when contracts are settled in the derivatives market, as the trading session drew to a close for the day, Jane Street allegedly sold the bank shares it had bought in the cash market, causing the price of the bank index to fall. And everything I described is illegal as a practice. For this reason, it has been banned by India. Going forward, even the president of the United States company, Trump Media, called on the authorities to investigate Jane Street for illegal short selling. He has also invited others. However, Jane Street is a name being thrown around a lot on Twitter these days. Moving forward, he has also been blamed for Terra-Luna's bankruptcy. Specifically, Todd Snyder, the administrator liquidating Do Kwon's Terraform Labs, sued Jane Street seeking damages from its co-founder. It all started on May 7th when Terraform quietly withdrew 150 million TerraUSD from stablecoin-focused decentralized trading platform Curve3 Pool. The suit alleges that within 10 minutes, before Terraform informed the public of anything, a wallet linked to Jane Street also withdrew 85 million TerraUSD from the same trading platform. This is supposed to have triggered the market panic. Kwon clarified the next day that the 150 million withdrawals were meant to move cryptocurrency into a new pool of liquidity for stablecoins. But it was too late. Then on May 9th, with TerraUSD starting to retreat, Jane Street's Pratt started a group chat with Kwon and the team, presenting offers to buy Bitcoin or Luna. And for this reason, he has been sued because, according to the charges, he probably played a significant role in the collapse of Terra-Luna. Moving on, I want to tell you that as all of this is happening, Jane Street herself has written all of her tweets on X, as you can see. And besides, who do you think worked there for 3 years? Our beloved Sam, the CEO of FTX. And that's not all, my dear audience. It appears, and this is something I've known for a long time, that FTX had bought 8% of Anthropic for $500 million. Anthropic is one of the biggest companies and has the best AI models in the market, which are much better than ChatGPT, especially for code. Let's say in May 2022, with the collapse of Luna, this caused a $12 billion hole in Alameda Research, which caused the collapse of FTX. And 1.5 years later, FTX sold its shares to Anthropic, and the second biggest buyer was Jane Street, which returned 21 times on these shares over 2 years. At this point, let's say that Jane Street is not responsible for the collapse of FTX just to get the Anthropic shares. FTX, as you know from Crypto News, their management at FTX was rotten, and this company was anyway making illegal money transfers from FTX to Alameda, while not being allowed to finance the gambling they called trading. So it's not Jane Street's fault, but it certainly benefited from Anthropic's very low stakes. Moving forward, we will go to our market and look at the grand theory of how Jane Street affects the crypto market daily daily once the US market opens. What this theory says is that having many billions, you can buy Bitcoins on the spot at $68,000. Then you open huge short positions through options or derivatives, whatever you want. You sell the largest amount of BTC in a matter of minutes. And that basically creates a big panic, and everyone sells and creates a lot of liquidity. The price naturally drops to $62,000, and then you can close your short positions as you have made a lot of money, losing only 5% of the spot purchase you made, and start buying Bitcoins at $62,000. Then you squeeze whatever short position there is. There is fear. Bitcoin and its price goes up. You take money from there, and then you do it all over again. This is the theory on the internet that this is why we have dips once the US Bitcoin market opens. I repeat, it is a theory for now, and the latest theory floating around the internet that it might happen, with question marks and implied, is that maybe Jane Street is behind the October 10th crypto market crash. I repeat, it is a theory. And on the other hand, there are not a few who believe that the theory of 10 p.m. from Jane Street for manipulating the crypto market isn't worth much, because Bitcoin has a very large market cap and can't be manipulated that precisely. And it's time to go to our favorite crypto market, where Bitcoin is at $67,000. We are in our channel waiting to see the USPPI. That wraps up the top news for crypto today, February 27th, 2026. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care everyone, and have a good day.